computer, yeah. Okay. Chavod.
Okay, we meet again remotely, as Hashem, as we always mention, we daven for the time that we can learn Torah. Actually, panim al panim. Well, this is a bechina of panim al panim, but guf el guf, and really together. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us these tools to be able to connect to each other and to share words of Torah, even in this more challenging time, to share words of Torah. But it's something that we continue to do, because, as we know, this is what is constant, and this is the only anchor that we have in our life that is not changing, that is always going to be the eternal connection that we have. Tzvi, everybody's going to be muted. You're going to mute all others, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk about a topic relating to Sfirat HaOmer, relating to the lumdis behind Sfirat HaOmer, some of the discussions of the Rishonim, and hopefully towards the end of the Yashir, we'll have a few minutes also, Divrei Hashkafa and the Machshava related to the ideas. Again, some of the ideas might be known and might have been mentioned in other shiurim, but again, it's discussions that we could review every year, because it's something that's relevant to our lives, especially at this time of year. So we start off with the Gemara in Maseches Menachos on Daf Samach Vav Amud Aleph. The Gemara tells us, Gufa, Amar Abaye, in source number 1, Amar Abaye, mitzvah lemimne yomei, mitzvah lemimne shavuei. It's a mitzvah, says Abaye, to count days and to count weeks. All right, that is what we do. We count days and weeks. Rabbanan debei Ravashi, mani yomei umani shavuei. Rabbanan debei Ravashi also agree to count days and to count weeks. And the Gemara, though, quotes another one of the one second. Gemara quotes another one of the Deos. Amer mani yomei v'lo mani shavuei. Amar zeichel l'mikdashu. Amer argues on Abaye and Rabbanan debei Ravashi, and Amemar says that no, one only has to count days and not count weeks. Why? Zecher l'mikdashu. Because it's Zecher l'mikdash. What exactly does that mean? It's only a Zecher l'mikdash. It sounds like, it's somehow a minimal mitzvah. It's not such a mitzvah that we have to take so seriously, and therefore we don't have to do it in the full sense of the word. It's only Zecher l'mikdash, and therefore we only have to count days and not count weeks. What does Abaye hold? Abaye hold it not Zeichel HaMikdash. It's not connected to the base of Mikdash. Chor Abaye or Rabbi Vashi also is connected to the Mikdash, right? It's Sfirat HaOmer related to the carbon. So what exactly, our first question, what exactly is the machlokas between Abaye, Rabbanan debei Ravashi, and Amemar? So the pashtus of the Gemara, the pashtus of the machlokas, and how many Farshim explain, is that maybe this machlokas has echoes in the Rishonim. This machlokas Amoraim is really a machlokas Rishonim as well. And that is, if you look at Tosfos, we look at Tosfos on the daf, Tosfos tells us, in source number 2, Nira, on that Gemara Menachos Samach Vav, Ibisafek Chashecha, Yochol Levarech. Once it's Bein Hashmashos, I can already make the bracha and count Sfirat HaOmer. Bein Sorach Lahamtin, Hashivadei Laila. I don't have to wait till Tzeis, right? This isn't like matzah. This isn't like other mitzvahs d'oraisa that require vadei laila. Kima shehu sveika d'Rabbanan. Because it's a suffix d'Rabbanan, Tosfos holds, like Rov Rishonim, the Rosh, and the Ran, and others, Sfirat HaOmer b'zman hazeh is d'Rabbanan. Because it's d'Rabbanan, we can be mekel. Why is it d'Rabbanan? Why is it d'Rabbanan? What is it totally on? So the pashtus is that this is Sfirat HaOmer. It's the Sfira from the carbon HaOmer. It's related to the carbon that was brought on the second day of Pesach every year in the Beis HaMikdash. So the real bona fide Sfirat HaOmer is counting from the day that we bring the carbon HaOmer. And if we don't bring the carbon HaOmer, there's no mitzvah. Chazal or Misakein, Zecher L'Mikdash, to be able to count even though we don't have the carbon HaOmer. But technically, Bizman Hazeh, the Tosfos holds, like many showed him, that it is only a mitzvah d'Rabbanan bizman hazeh. And this isn't only Tosfos. Balamor at the end of Mesechus Psachim, which we have mentioned often in other contexts. The Balamor in the last daf in Psachim asks two questions. One of them is going to be dealing with what we answer right now. Source number 3. Ubesfiras ha'omer yesh shoalin matam ein anu omer bozman. Question number 1. Why is there no shechianu on the mitzvah of Sfiras ha'omer? After all, every mitzvah that we do, ba mizman lizman, every mitzvah has a shechianu, shofar and Megillah and lulav and Neres Chanukah. Every mitzvah that we do, ba mizman lizman, gets a shechianu. And even a mitzvah like Pidyon Haben and Bris Milah should get a shechianu. According to some Rishonim, Minhag of Eretz Yisrael to say a shechianu, Chutz La'aretz not, but put this counter pressure. But really, every mitzvah that we do once in a while, it's a shechianu. It's a shechianu on Sfiras HaOmer. That's the Balamor. Va'od. And also, Matam Einanu Sofrim below Bracha B'Sheni Shal Pesach. And what about Sveika Diyoma? Sveika Diyoma, we don't count double. Some Achronim ask, and why do we count? Maybe it's not really the proper day. Maybe it's really day 1, not day 2. But says the Balamor, we'll focus on the first question. Why is there no shechianu? Skip a couple of lines. Says the Balamor, V'od, fourth to last line, Shalom Matzinu Birchasman Ela B'davar Sheish Bo Shum Hana. Shechianu is where there's a purely simcha-filled mitzvah. Pure ecstasy, pure happiness. To go Netilas Lulav, Shubal L'Simcha. Netilas Lulav, it's a mitzvah of Kirva L'Hashem, B'tzkiya Shofar, L'Zikaron Ben Yisrael Avim Shvashamayim, and Shofar. It connects us, like the Gemara says in Rosh Hashanah. It's like we're in the Kodesh Kodashim when we blow Shofar. Umikra Megillah, Chas Rachmana Alan, Uparkinon, Mikra Megillah. Remember how Hashem saved us. It's Hallel, Upidyon Haben, Shemevarech Aviyah Ben Shechianu. That the Aviyah Ben says Shechianu Lefisha Yatza Banu Misafik Nefel. Because Shashash Shloshim Yom Ba'adam Eno Nefel. U'Sfiras HaOmer. So fine. So all of these mitzvos that we have are mitzvos that are totally simchadik, and therefore we say a shechianu. But, says the Balamor, Aval Sfiras HaOmer Ein Bo Zecher L'Shum Hana La'agmas Nafshenu Churban Beis Ma'avyenu. Sfiras HaOmer is tinged with sadness. Sfiras HaOmer. We call this a Sfiras HaOmer. Where's the Omer? We brought a carbon. Where's the Beis HaMikdash? Where's the Kohanim B'Avodasam? Levim B'Duchanam? Where's everything? This is Sfiras HaOmer. So when we do this mitzvah, we're in pain. We're upset. We're going to say Shechianu? Inappropriate. This is just an echo. A little bit reminds us of the mitzvah. What's mashma from the Balamor? Again, like Tosfos holds, that the mitzvah Bizman Hazeh is a mitzvah d'Rabbanan. And this is what Rov Rishonim say. The Rashba holds this, the Ran holds this. Bizman Hazeh, we don't have the carbon, therefore the mitzvah Sfiras HaOmer is only a mitzvah d'Rabbanan. This is in contrast to the Shita of the Rambam. The Rambam holds that Sfiras HaOmer Bizman Hazeh does not give any impression it has changed one iota from the days of the Mikdash to Bizman Hazeh. The Rambam tells us in Hilchos Pidyon Musafin, mitzvahs aseh lispar sheva weeks, Yom Avas HaOmer, from the day of Avas HaOmer. The Rambam already, the Rambam already alludes to us based on the pasuk. It's a mitzvah from the day of the car. What does the pasuk say? Miyom Haviyachem es Omer Atanufa. From the day that we bring the Omer, not when we bring the Omer. From the day that we bring the Omer. Shene'emar usfartem lachem imachar zashabas sheva shabasos u'mitzvos minot yamim mashvuos, mitzvah to count days and weeks. The Chulu, another Rambam adds an halacha chav dalid. End of source 4. Mitzvah zu al kol ishmi Yisrael b'chol makom u'v'chol zman. Mitzvah is always, anytime, anywhere. So the Rambam holds it's a mitzvah d'oraisa. So machlokas rishonim, whether Sfiras HaOmer Bizman Hazeh is a mitzvah d'oraisa or a mitzvah d'Rabbanan. The Rambam holds d'oraisa. Other Rishonim also agree. Rov Rishonim hold this d'Rabbanan. And there's even nafkaminas la'alacha. You might ask, what difference does it make? There are nafkaminas la'alacha. One of the major ones that we're machmir for, the Shulchan Aruch Paskins, in source number 6, Simitaf Beis Tes Sif Dalid, Comes up all the time. Somebody asks, what's tonight's count? What's tonight? So we're all trained already. We say, well, yesterday was blank. Why do we do that? That's so strange. Why do we have to count yesterday's? Because if we said, oh, tonight's 6, then maybe, I'll be ready Yotzei. What do you mean? Mitzvahs ain't tzrichas kavana. I didn't have kavana to do the mitzvah. Maybe we're machmir that by mitzvahs d'Rabbanan, mitzvahs ain't tzrichas kavana. That's a discussion in Siman Tzamach, I think it is, in Orach Chaim, where the Shulchan Aruch and the Magen Avraham quotes the Radvaz, mitzvahs tzrichas kavana. It's a big topic. There might be steers in the Shulchan Aruch about this, which we're not going to get into right now. But we're machmir like the Shitas that Sfiras Omer is d'Rabbanan, and therefore, maybe mitzvahs ain't tzrichas kavana. You don't have to have kavana when you do the mitzvah. If I do the mitzvah, boom, I'm yotzei, even if I didn't have kavana to do the mitzvah. And therefore, you can't say, oh, tonight is blank. And say, yesterday, right here is a d'Rabbanan, that's a chumrah. Usually, d'araisas are a chumrah and d'Rabbanans are coolest. Here, me d'Rabbanan, we have to be machmir to assume that maybe I was yotzei already. There's even another nafkamina in terms of the language that we use. Right? Many have the custom of saying a tefillah right before the mitzvah of Sfiras HaOmer, especially it's in all the Siddurim. And what do we say there? Mitzvahs aseh till Sfiras HaOmer. Mitzvahs aseh. Rov Rishonim don't hold this in mitzvahs aseh. So what do we do? Oh, again, in the Divrei Yatziv, he quotes here from the Kleisberger, says on the top of the next page, Amur mikol ha'amur, shekol ha'poskim rishonim v'achronim, rubam kekulam kasvu, l'chadchila lo yispar kodem tzeis. We should be machmir like the Shita of Daraisa, but we should also be machmir like the Rabbanan. And he says on the third line, V'chei mashba ksas minusach l'shem yichud hanohog lomar l'kay mitzvah seishos v'yasomer kamosha kasav haTorah zeli yomim rabim. The Divrei Yatziv says, and I skipped those few words. If you change the girsa, if you're posting Ador, like the Divrei Yatziv, you could change the girsa a little bit. Even to Ladas Rova Poskim Sfir Bizman Aziz Durabanan Bisamachti, and he quotes Sahati, I was very happy. Shamatzasi case Baruch Chaim Achadash. Jay became the same Sefer Orei Ar, especially according to the Rambam. Fine. Then he says, even with our girsa, it might be okay. The mitzvah say just v'yasomer and a mitzvah say d'Rabbanan. Mitzvah say doesn't have to be d'araisa. We don't say mitzvah say d'araisa. Mitzvah say, or which is probably the pshuto shamikra. The root of it is the mitzvah say. Right, the root of Sfiras HaOmer. Okay, but either way, this is a machlokas Rishonim between Baalei HaTosfos and the Baal Amor and the Rashba and the Ran versus the Rambam and others, whether Sfiras HaOmer is Banazez, Daraisa, D'Rabbanan. So maybe, Al Pi Pshuto, that's the machlokas we started off with. That's the machlokas in Menachos Samavav between Abaya and Rabbanan Debei Rav Ashi versus Amemar. Amemar says, Zeichel HaMikdash. Zeichel HaMikdash, it's only D'Rabbanan, and therefore, you only have to count days and not weeks. Abaya and Rabbanan Debei Rav Ashi say, no, you count days and weeks. Why? They don't explain. Just maybe they hold this Daraisa. Maybe this machlokas amaram is gufa translated into a machlokas rishonim. The problem is that we just said that we're machmir, we assume it's Rabbanan and not count, but we also know that we count days and weeks. So we're counting days and weeks. So is that because we're machmir on both sides? We're machmir that is daraisa to count days and weeks. Or machmir is Rabbanan not to count the day? Maybe. But there are rishonim. I just gave you one example, the Ran. The Ran says that it's the Rabbanon, and he still paskins like Abaya and Rabbanan Debei Rav Ashi. Just because it's the Rabbanon doesn't mean you're only going to count days and not weeks. That's clear. Balamar also earlier, we'll read it in the Ran right here in source number 7. Ran, on that last daf, there's no riff on Maseches Menachos. So that's why we don't have any Ran and Balamar and Menachos. But at the end of Psachim, that's where the Rishonim talk about Sfiras HaOmer, and that's where we have these Rishonim that discuss our topic. So it says there in the Ran, Ivan Tapaya for Rabbanan Debei Rav Ashi, Manu Yomei Umanu Shvuei, Kabbalah Kavasayu. First two opinions are Abai and Rabbanan. We paskin like them. Even though Amemar argues, really, Shavuos only has to be on the night of the end, 7/14/21. We count weeks even every night. And right after that, what does the Ran say? So in the same breath, the Ran says we count days and weeks, and we hold this to Rabbanan. So that can't be the basis, according to the Ran and others, of the Machlokas Amoraim. It's not Daraisa, days and weeks. The Rabbanan only days. Because the Ran says the Rabbanan, and he says days and weeks. So we have to come up with a different hesber for the Machlokas Amoraim in the Gemara in Maseches Menachos. So the Brisker Rav alludes to, and also his nephew, Rav Soloveitchik, expands upon this in some of his writings. The Yisod Gadol that we have to recognize, and sometimes if we don't focus on it, we don't realize that it's happening. You look at two different Gemaras. The Gemara on the last Amud of Maseches, the last Amud of Cheskas Habatim. The Yeshiva learned Cheskas Habatim is Pezman. The last Amud in Cheskas Habatim tells us, of Samach HaMabeis, 30 block parak, says the Gemara, all of the halachos relating to what we would call Zeichel HaMikdash. This is not on your sheet. This is between 7 and 8, but it's not on your sheet. So Gemara Babasra Daf Samach HaMabeis tells us they're all different halachas. Right? If somebody's painting their house, they should leave out a little spot that's not painted. And when we don't hold this, this is not the minhag. If somebody sets the table, always leave one empty. But putting ashes on the head of a chasan, the makam atilin, that we do, right? Sadadam is based on besid and mishayba davar muat. That's in the Gemara, right? Or put something on for maklesh or bros chasanim. All of these. What is this all based on? So the Gemara quotes the pasuk. Right, that's this principle. Zeichel HaMikdash. We have all of these halachas, and we know the whole 3 weeks and the 9 days, and the minhagim leading up to Tisha B'av. Those are all Zeichel HaMikdash. Fine. But if you look in Maseches Sukkah, Afmem Aleph, and other places, we know there are many halachos. D'Rabbanan, Rabbi Yochanan Mezacheh was Mesakein Zeichel HaMikdash. Right, Midoraisa, a lulav is only taken 1 day in outside of the Beis HaMikdash. The Beis HaMikdash has 7 days, so Smachtam L'fnei Hashem L'keichem Shivas Yamim, but only first day. But after Chorban Beis HaMikdash, Rabbi Yochanan Mezacheh says take a lulav all 7 days in the in the world. Why? Zeichel HaMikdash. Okay, Zeichel HaMikdash. That's why Yom HaNefes Kulo Aser, the whole second day of Pesach, is Aser for to eat the Chadash. And there are many other Hakanos of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. There are 9 altogether. So I asked Rav Soloveitchik and asked the Brisker Rav. And there's a separate pasuk there. Tzion hi dorish ein la. Why is there a different pasuk quoted in Babasra Daf Samach and Meshkachechi Yerushalayim and in Maseches Sukkah and elsewhere? It seems, and this is what the Brisker Rav says right here in source number 8, there are 2 types of mitzvahs d'Rabbanan Zeichel HaMikdash. One type of mitzvah d'Rabbanan Zeichel HaMikdash is to remember what it was like in the Beis HaMikdash and to relive it. And maybe to be ready to do it again when we have a Beis HaMikdash. When we are Zoche, Meheri Bana Beis HaMikdash, we want to remember what we did, so we do it again. And we relive it and re-experience. That's Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Take a lulav all 7 days. So we remember. Zeicher lebinyan HaMikdash. But then there's a second different type of Zeicher HaMikdash. Yemeshkachechi Yerushalayim Tikachim Yini. Zeicher lechurban HaMikdash. Or connection of Avelis, an idea that we have to remember and mourn what we don't have. If that's the case, that doesn't have to be exactly the same as it was done in the Mikdash, because we're not reliving it and getting ready and re-experiencing, but we're just doing something to remind us. Says the Brisker Rav here, source number 8 now. V'nireh, de'ein zeh takana, shetiknu rabbanon, mitzvah sira. He's explaining Amemar. He's explaining what does that mean. Amemar says days, not weeks, because it's Zeichel HaMikdash. V'nera dein zeh takana shetiknu rabbanan mitzvah sira b'zman hazeh k'mo shahaya chiyuv daraisa b'zman HaMikdash. the Rabbanan did not make a mitzvah to parallel exactly what was the imkain. But then it should be exactly the same. If we're trying to reenact, so then it should be the same exact type of mitzvah, all the same details. Who takana d'Rabbanan yuchedes zecher lemikdash. This is type 2. This is the Meshkachech Yerushalayim zecher lemikdash. This is that reminds us, and he says sometimes you don't know. Because you don't know which ones. You got to figure out exactly. The Brisker Rav says this is crucial to understand. Sfirat Omer can be different because it's Zecher LaMikdash type 2. Zecher LaAvelus LaChurban HaMikdash, and therefore it could have different standards. But if this is the case, then maybe we have a different understanding of the Machlokas HaMeimar and Abai and Rabbanan de Rav Ashi. I don't think the Brisker Rav goes back to the other Shita. He's explaining HaMeimar. But we could say for 1 second, we don't paskin like a Meimar. We paskin like Abaya and Rabbanan de Rav Ashi. So, but the Ran said it's Rabbanan, but we do both. So maybe the machlokas here is, what is Sfirat Omer? Sfirat Omer Zecher Binyan HaMikdash or Zecher L'Churban HaMikdash? And Nafka Mina, does it have to be exactly the same type of mitzvah in terms of its details? Meimar says Zecher L'Churban, just to remind you, to jar your memory. That's what it sounds like from the Balamor. Obviously, as we saw before, while maybe Abaya and Rabbanan de Rav Ashi say it is Zecher LaMikdash. It's a din d'Rabbanan b'zman hazeh. It's a din d'Rabbanan to recreate what was, and therefore it's subject to the same standards. The 2 suggestions: what is the machlokas hamoraim? Either machlokas, whether it's Sfirat Omer b'zman hazeh is d'oraisa d'Rabbanan, or maybe everybody agrees it's d'Rabbanan. The machlokas is the type of mitzvah d'Rabbanan that it is. That's part 1. Let's move on, though, now to part 2. Part 2 of the Shia, which we'll discuss, the Shita of the Baal Halachas Gedolos. There are a couple of famous Shitas of the Baal Halachas Gedolos in a few different contexts. In Kriyas Megillah, there's a famous Shita. The Mitzvah of Emunah, there's a famous Shita. So here's another one. Source number 9 on the bottom. The Baal Halachas Gedolos quoted here in Tosas and Menachas Daf Samach Vav. Od Pasak Baal Halachas Gedolos. Kim Hifsek Yom Echad V'lo Safar. If somebody missed a day of Sphira, Shuv Eino Sofer, he blew it. He can no longer continue counting with a bracha. Mishum B'baya Tamimos. Because you need Tamimos. You need a complete Sphira, a complete mitzvah. And if you missed a day, you're finished. You're out. This concept of Tamimos is nowhere in Shas. Rishonim bring it up. It doesn't say anywhere in the Gemara. Bahag bases his Shita based on this concept of Tamimos, that Tamimos needs to be every single day. And if I miss a 24-hour period, I miss an entire day of Sphira, so then that is a problem, and I can no longer count with a bracha. Fascinating. Tosfos often quotes 2 types of questions. Right? Generally, whenever Tosfos and Shas asks a question, it's either textual or logical. Right? How can you say this? It says in this Gemara something else. Or how can you say this doesn't make sense? The Tosfos Kimat 95% of the time explains what the logical problem is. Here, and Tosfos just says, it's a tema. The tema gedola huvelo yitachin. Not only is it a tema, it's impossible. That's pretty strong language. It's impossible what the Bahag says. The Bahag obviously thinks it is possible. What is Tosfos bothered by? What is the sheet of the Bahag? And what can Tosfos fathom that it is such a tema gedola? So if you look in the Rush, I didn't give you the Rush, but if you look in the Rush explicates it. The Rush says that, well, obviously, if it's spread out over 49 days, it's 49 mitzvos. They're not dependent on each other. What's the Bahag talking about? It's 49 mitzvos. Okay, we do a mitzvah every single night. What does tonight have to do with tomorrow? Ask the Rush, ask the Bali Tosfos on the Bahag. And even more than that, they're Raya Machrachas, they're strong Raya, quoted here, I gave you in the Sefer HaMachriya, Tosfos Rid, Siman Chavtes, Elavadai lo Amar Achmana Tamimos, Ela sheyaschil minyanim ba'erev. What does Tamimos mean? Count at night, so you have the entire day. Velo she'akfu zeh. Doesn't mean that one night is dependent on the other one. Shekol yom vayom hu mitzvah b'fnei atzmo. Every day is a separate mitzvah. Im chiser echad mehem, v'lo mana, chiser mitzvahs oso hayom. Lo hifzid shar hayomim b'kach. We didn't lose the rest of the days. And here's the raya. Heida, shebachol yom vayom anu mevarchim al sfiras ha'omer. We make a bracha every single night. It's one mitzvah. Since when do you have one mitzvah with 49 brachas? 49 brachas, says the Tosfos Rid. Says the Rosh, says Tosfos. 49 brachas, 49 mitzvos. V'im isa she'enon ela mitzvah achas, u'ma'akvin zeh. If it's somehow connected and they're all ma'akiv each other, even shabirach b'layla harishon, lo hayetzorach levarich, ala yimona b'lo bracha. Since when does a mitzvah get more than bracha? Washanu mavarchim cholayla v'layla. The fact that we make a bracha every single night, shma mina shekol yom v'yom mitzvah b'bnei atzmahu. Ima'akvin zeh. It must be every night is a separate mitzvah. That's the shita of the Tosfos Rid. That's the shita of many Rishonim. We're machmir l'maisa like the Bahag. Savi brachas l'hakel. Machmir. So if we miss a night, we don't continue with the bracha. But many Rishonim. Let's see your besafik. I don't remember if I counted or not. We're makel. Then you can continue with the bracha because Rov Rishonim say it's a separate one anyway. So it's a spec fake. Maybe you counted, and even if you didn't count, the halach is like Rov Rishonim, but it's separate. So what's the shita of the Bahag? The pashtus, the way that they say it in the yeshivas, the way that they say it in the world is that how many mitzvahs? The Bahag would say back, yeah, it's one big mitzvah. One big mitzvah with 49 brachas. This is the Sefer HaChinuch. Quote the Bahag. V'yesh amru, source 11, shemisha shachach, v'lo mana yom echad. If somebody forgot one entire day, shein yachol limnos obos hashana. You can't count with a bracha anymore. Tefisha kulan mitzvah achasi. It's all one mitzvah. Mikivan sheshachach mehen yom echad, harei kol hacheshbin, batel imanu. O cheshbin is batel. Lahodu morenu sheba the reinu l'sfarazu. The Sefer HaChinuch says we don't agree with that. Even if you forgot, you can continue. You can continue. We'll get back to the rest of the Chinuch Hashem at another time. This is the Bahag. Bahag says that you could count every night with a bracha, 49 brachas, even though it's one mitzvah. Just one note of clarification on this. And that is, we know the Gemara tells us in Maseches Menachos on Daf Mem Beis, source number 12, that we never make a bracha unless we're at the final stage of a mitzvah. When somebody writes tefillin, a sofer writes tefillin, amazing zchus. There's no bracha on writing tefillin because the mitzvah is the wearing of the tefillin. There's no bracha on putting the tzitzis on the beged. The bracha is when you wear the tzitzis. The bracha is when you affix the mezuzah to the wall. We paskin, you don't even make a bracha by building a sukkah. Yerushalmi has a bracha. We don't paskin that, right? We make a bracha when we sit in the sukkah. So you only make a bracha on what's called asiyasa gemar mitzvasa, where what you do is the final stage. So we could ask a kasha on the Bahag. So the final stage, well, you make brachas throughout. You're not at the final stage yet. So why do you make 49 brachas? Isn't that a violation of the Gemara Menachos of asiyasa gemar mitzvasa? This is not asiyasa gemar mitzvasa. What's the chiluk between Sfirat Omer and all of those examples that I gave, tefillin and tzitzis and building a sukkah? So l'chora, Schechter has a note about this in one of his svarim. L'chora, one has to say that there's a big difference between all those examples and Sfirat Omer, according to the Bahag. All the other examples are hechsher mitzvahs. You're not doing the mitzvah yet. Building the sukkah is a hechsher mitzvah. Writing tefillin, writing a mezuzah, putting tzitzis on the beged, that's a hechsher mitzvah. You've done zero of the mitzvah. You've created a situation that now you could do the mitzvah. Counting sfira is chelek min ha-mitzvah. It's not hechsher mitzvah. There are 49 parts to this mitzvah. It's very different. Gemara Menachos ein asiyasa gemar mitzvah, so you're not allowed to make a bracha on a hechsher mitzvah. You can make a bracha on a part of a mitzvah, even if it's not the last part of the mitzvah. That must be the svara of the Bahag. And he allows 49 brachas on Sfiras HaOmer, while he does not allow l'chora brachas on all those examples of ein asiyasa gemar mitzvahs. So this is how the Bahag is understood generally. Bahag hold is one big mitzvah with 49 parts, and the chiddush is they make a bracha on the 49 parts, while the other Rishonim hold that no, 49 separate mitzvahs. We still have to analyze the Bahag a little more because there's another sheet of the Bahag. And that is quoted to you in source number 13. You also had it back in Tosfos earlier. We'll see it in the tour right here. The tour quotes the Bahag. Not only if you forgot the whole day, night and day, there's no more counting. But if you forgot at night, you'll have to count during the day. Also, we know this, we're familiar. You could count during the day. Says the tour. Why is that? Why should you be able to count during the day? You have to count at night. Why do you have to count at night? Because of Tzmimos. You need the whole day. So how does the middle of the day help? Especially according to the Bahag. What did the Bahag tell us? If you miss a day, you're chasser on your Tzmimos. So if you miss a day, you're chasser on the Tzmimos. So if you miss a half a day, you should also be chasser on the Tzmimos. Why should counting during the day help you? And he even agrees that you don't say a bracha. So how does that work? That you can count and we're all familiar with halacha, but what's the star behind it? You miss when you're supposed to count. You miss Tzmimos. So according to the Bahag, you should be out. And if somehow you're not out, you don't make a bracha, you can count the next day with a bracha. So we still have to analyze and explain the shita of the Bahag. Let's add on two other questions. First, unusual shitos. Your halacha here in Siman Tav Peites, the siman about Sfiras Omer, your halacha quotes the shita of Rav Haigon. Haigon, here in source 14. Britzgeis b'shem Rav Haigon. Mekayim Tmimos Shavuei. Ahainu Shebachal Mishlam Shvuei. Kshomer Cheshbon Ashua Mekayim Shiva Shua Smil Tiana. Fine. You could count with fulfilled Tmimos with Shvuei. That's not our point right now. V'oti Reicham. If you forgot an entire day, you're not out yet. Not yet. Yispar Balal Sheni Shtei Sfiros. You're going to Shachach Sfira Rishona Yomar Sfira Shnia Esmol Echad Ba'omer. The Yoma Dein Shrei Ba'umra. Kiva Demani Gam Shal Esmol Onafak Michlal Timimos Tiana. It says Rav Haigon, unbelievable. If I missed night 14, you know what I could say? On the night of the 15th, yesterday was 14 and tonight's going to be 15. Right? If I forgot 25, I could say last night was 25 and tonight's 26. And that's good enough. And that's good enough for counting. How does that work? You're counting yesterday's? Yesterday is gone. Of our Yomo Batal Carbono. How is that allowed? You're for sure not fulfilling the mitzvah of yesterday. You can't bring yesterday's carbon today. You can't do yesterday's mitzvah today. What does that mean? It says Lashon lo nafak michlal timimos. You didn't lose timimos. How do you not lose timimos? You lost yesterday. Doesn't timimos mean, according to the Bahag, you can't miss a day? One big mitzvah, 49 days, 49 parts to the mitzvah. So if we're putting Rav together with the Bahag, correct? But what's the star for it? Or another question. We also pass in this way. It's quoted in Shulchan Aruch, the Beis Yosef. In Siman Tav Peites, in source 15, Beis Yosef quotes the Abu Dram. In the Machzor Vitri, Hamispala Matzibor Mibod Yom. What happens? It could come up. Somebody makes early Shabbos. And they're davening. And let's say the assumption is that many people might forget if they don't count in shul. So what happens? You count in shul. Shulchan Aruch says you could count in shul without a bracha and you make a t'nai. Make a condition. You count without a bracha, Meimar Amar, and you say, if I remember to count tonight after dark, then I'll count again with a bracha. If I remember, great. If I don't, great. I'm covered. If I remember, I'll count later, Bisman. And if I don't remember, at least I covered myself and I count it now. 1 second, how does that work? Is this the time for counting or not? If you could count now, great, then count with a bracha. If you can't count now, then what are you doing? And later on, you could say, oh, I'm going to count again. So what was earlier? If later on you can count again, that means I'm not yot to the mitzvah earlier. So what am I doing? And how does it help anything? How does it affect anything? So what's the svar of the Bahag that you can count during the day, even though you missed it? What's the svar for Rav Haigon? You can count yesterday was this and tonight was this. And what's the svara for the Machzor Vitri that you can make this tonight and count earlier without a bracha and later count again. The Magen Avram is very bothered by it. The Magen Avram is bothered by this Beis Yosef, which is quoted in Shulchan Aruch. Right? He's very bothered by it. Right? How is it that you could count early and be Yotze? So maybe the pshat is a different idea of the Bahag. It's not that the Bahag argues fundamentally that, or Rishonim say it's 49 separate mitzvahs, and the Bahag says it's one big mitzvah. Maybe even the Bahag holds it's 49 mitzvos. Salvation and other Achronim suggest this. Look at the language of the Trumas Hadeshen. And then we'll look back already. It was said by Rav Haigon already. Rav Haigon says, you know why you're allowed to count yesterday? It's not a violation of Tmimos. Why not? Maybe we have to redefine what Tmimos means. Let's look in the Trumas Hadeshen. Almost every tshuva, the Trumas Hadeshen, is quoted in the Shulchan Aruch. Yisrael Yisraelin, source 17. Safek lechad, if somebody's mesupik, suffer laila achas olav. If somebody doesn't remember if they counted or not, what should he do? Yira the Yisper bracha mikam ba'ala. As we said earlier, you can keep counting with a bracha. With a bracha. Not only if you remember that day, because then you count during the day, but even if not, even if you don't remember till the next night still you could keep counting with a bracha. The sofer b'yom b'lo bracha, sofer shuva bracha, the mikri shapir tmimos. Why? Because you didn't skip the day totally. What does that mean? Maybe what the Bahag is saying is that it's not one big mitzvah. It's 49 separate mitzvahs, but the din of tmimos is there has to be continuity. It has to be consecutiveness. Sifus. Fundamentally, everybody agrees. 49 separate mitzvahs, 49 brachas. That was the biggest kasha, the strongest kasha on the Bahag. How can you make 49 brachas? So we said a chiddush is 40. You can make a chiddush on a part of a mitzvah. No, maybe he holds like Rov Rishonim. Also, that it's 49 separate mitzvahs. His chiddush is that it has to be continuous. It has to be one after. If you miss a day, you broke the retzef. You broke the continuity. You didn't break the mitzvah. 49 separate mitzvos. The din of Sfirat Ha'omer is that there has to be continuity. And that's why the Rav Haigon could say, if you miss one day, it's still okay. Because if you say, yesterday was that and tonight it's this, you still connected and mentioned yesterday. And that would be good enough. And if you daven early, maybe you weren't yotze the mitzvah per se, but you marked the day. Connected to the day after Praga Mincha. It was in proximity of the day, and that would be good enough for the din of Tmimos. That would be good enough for the din of continuity. Right? And maybe that's what the shot of the Bahag is, or Chaigon. Maybe this also helps the Pischei Shuvah quotes, the Yehuda in Yeridea in Source 18, about an onain, Rahman al-Islam. Let's say somebody's an onain for more than 24 hours, and they know they're going to miss it. They know the crew is not going to be for a while. They're going to miss an entire day. So what do? If they miss today, they're done. So says the Pischei Shuvah in Source 18, who onain b'yemei asfira balayla, u'makam afaris rachok min ha'ir v'chulu v'im li'ol yispar balayla, u'yuchal levarech gam b'yamim shel ha'acharav, yispar ba'oso layla b'lo bracha, v'oz yachol levarech b'shar yamim. Count without a bracha. Says the Pischei Shuvah, says the Nodem Yehuda. How does that work? You can't do mitzvahs when you're an onain. It's not a mitzvah, but it's keeping the retzef. You don't have kavanah to do the mitzvah, but you don't want to lose out the continuity. And even an onain can have the continuity. And maybe even that connects to big discussion in the Achronim about Katan and his gadol. Anyone who has a bar mitzvah this time of year generally, no, this is the drasha. About Katan shehigdal b'tochim esfira. Many different shitas. I gave you the Avnei Nezer. Avnei Nezer says he cannot continue. So it's just like when you do a mitzvah b'shas, shota, which when somebody's a shota, it doesn't count. They eat matzah when they're shota, it doesn't count. So too, when somebody's a katan. Rov achronim don't assume that way. The Minchas Chinuch assumes. If he was counting till now, he's counting till now. But maybe, according to this, a katan maybe can't do a mitzvah recognized midaraisa. Maybe he could do a maisa. He could do a svira, and he could still have the continuity. And that's what the Bahag requires. So maybe everybody agrees it's separate mitzvos. It just has to be continuous. So we discussed two ideas relating to the mitzvah of Sfirat Ha'omer. We discussed Daraisa D'Rabbanan, how much this is connected to the Karban Ha'omer, two types of Zeichel HaMikdash. And we also discussed the mitzvah of Sfirat Ha'omer, the Bahag, about Tamimos, Is it one big mitzvah versus 49 separate mitzvahs, or is it 49 separate mitzvahs, or is it one big mitzvah with 49 parts? To close with one dvar machshava related to this discussion. Ritzifus, as we just mentioned for the Bahag, it's not one big, it's the continuity. Yadus is all about continuity. It's all about consistency. Right? Like the Medrash, the Medrash that the Ein Yaakov quotes, the three most important psukim. After Recha Kamocha, Shema Yisrael, it's Akeves Achad Hasev Boker, it's Akeves Hashinit Haseh Ben Abayim. It's all about day in and day out. What we do yomi. And it doesn't matter if we're in our regular schedule or we're home and we're quarantines, whatever it is, we could do yomi things. Rabbi Fran, at the previous Yom HaShas, not the one a few months ago, at the previous one, he said, you're not a daf yomi person, so do something else. Yomi, Mishnah yomi, Parsha yomi, Halacha yomi, anything, Navi, Parak yomi, whatever it is. We're yomi people, and we have to be yomi Jews. And that's a message of the Bahag and of this time of year, the consistency, and not even miss a day. Right? The Rambam writes in Ilchos Talmud Torah in source 21, right? Ava b'shemitzvah luba b'yom ha'balayla, ein adam lo lamed rov chachma so ela balayla. Lefichach, bisharat l'zakos b'keser Torah. If somebody wants to yizocha b'keser Torah, yizar b'chal elosav, have to be careful with every single night. V'lo yovad afilu echad mehem, not to miss even one day. Achilo b'shtia v'shteina. You can't even miss one day. It's even quoted in the Shulchan Aruch. Now that I'm in my study, I can just reach for Sfarim. It's very convenient. There's a siman in Shulchan Aruch. Reish Lamed Ches. Reish Lamed Ches at the end of Chiluk Beis of the Mishnah Berurah. V'kvoa itim laTorah balayla. Tzarach lizar b'liman haTorah yotzer mimishal yom ha'malo anshem meruba. And that's what he talks about. And he says, let's say you have a chok kavua. The Shulchan Aruch says, if you're supposed to learn something each day and you didn't finish it, you have to finish it that night.
We lose the connection.
לא שומעים אותך הרב? רוזנר? One minute. Oh, okay. Connect.
Back?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we're okay. Up. I'm sorry, I think I just lost. Let's just continue. So again, the Sefer HaChinuch says that the only holiday that we count towards is Shavuos, because that's what we're excited about. That's the most. We celebrate the Torah. That's what the Chinuch says in the middle of source 22. Ikaran shal Yisrael. Uba'avura nigalu. Ba'alu lakol agflush all the way learn. It's Davinu limnos v'imachros yandash Pesach. We're so excited. Right, imagine, I know it's hard for us to imagine if we knew the day that we would get back to quote unquote, the day that they'd find the cure for Corona. Imagine we'd be counting down the days. We'd be so excited. We'll be able to wait for it. We're counting down the days towards Torah. And we have to make sure that we count every single day. But even more so, another message is that we can't skip days. We can't skip steps. Sfirat Omer is a time period where we go step by step in terms of building, and Milos HaTorah, Avodas Hashem is a ladder. We've mentioned often the Gemara in Chulin, Mar Ukva, the Gemara in Chulin, second to last source, Kopei Amar Mar Ukva, Analo HaMilza Chala Bar Chamer L'Gabi Abba. I am like vinegar compared to my father who's like wine. What does that mean? My father says Mar Ukva, my father would wait 24 hours between fleishiks and milchiks. I only wait till the next Suda. 6 hours. This is the source and shots for waiting between fleishiks and milchiks. Says the Bali Musar. Rav Sternbach on Parshas Yisro quotes this from the Bali Musar. what does Mar Ukva mean? I'm like vinegar, my father's like wine. But if he thought it was appropriate to wait 24 hours, so why didn't he? Why did he wait? What, he wanted the ice cream so badly? This is Mar Ukva. We can understand the kedusha of Mar Ukva. The Gemara in Ksubis, he jumped into the oven to make sure he didn't embarrass the ani that he's giving stucca to. What is Mar Ukva teaching us? We'll explain the Bali Musar. Mar Ukva knew that Chumrah wasn't where he was up to in his avodas Hashem. Waiting 24 hours, that's not where he was up to. And you have to go step by step. Even Mar Ukva knew that. And most of us are probably not up to yearning and crying for the Beis Hamikdash after Chatzos every night, saying Tikkun Chatzos. We're probably not up to there. Halavai, we should be. But Lashon Hara and having Kavanah by Tefillah and not getting angry, and there's a lot that's on our plate, but we have to make sure that we're going step by step. So we don't skip steps. Because if we jump up the ladder, then often things could end up in a way that we don't want them. And that's what the Arachaim HaKadosh writes in the beginning of Kosai, where he writes 42 pshatim. If you never saw it, you just got to open it up. The Arachaim has 42 pshatim on the first pasuk in Parshas Kosai. So number 6 there, in number 6, he says, first you have to do what you have to do. Then you could add on Shmira, and there he gives shot to the mission in Pirkei Avos. Below Amaretz Chassid. Not that an Amaretz can't be a Chassid. He's ignorant, but he shouldn't be a Chassid. He shouldn't be. We have to know step by step what we're up to. We can't shortchange ourselves. We can't say, oh, I'm not up to there. But Baruch Hu knows exactly what we're up to. So we have to try our best and constantly grow and moving up, but not jumping up. Those are 2 ideas, different machshava in terms of the Bahag and Tmimos and the Mitzvah D'Oraisa D'Rabbanan. Hashem should give us all the Chachma and the Siyata D'Shmaya and the Shalvas HaNefesh in this challenging time that we're all living in, to be able to keep growing, keep going step by step, be able to get the most out of every day, no matter where we happen to be that day, even if it's in the same place we've been for the past 6 weeks, still to get the most out of it. And B'ez Hashem, Shekol Mechael Al Chayil, as we all together go to the march to Kabbalah Satorah. Have a great day, and thank you again, Tzvi, and arranging, and all the Yeshivas Karen Biavna. We're still going strong. There are 32